Hi, and welcome to week 11. Only 3 weeks left. So today's topics are your cover letter, grant format in general, and revisiting page limits on various documents. Then your homework. So as of today, we are done with research and career sections, and now all we have left is setting. So you're going to write a cover letter. You're going to address the letter to the Division of Receipt and Referral and include the following info: your K-grant title, the FOA title and number you are using for your grant, what NIH institute or center is most relevant to your research project, what study section is the most relevant to your research project, so you can go on nih.gov, look at standing study sections. Then provide a list of the 3 people providing your letters of reference. Remember that these 3 people are submitting those letters separately from your application, but you want to put their name, departmental affiliation, and their institution. There's more info at grants.nih.gov in terms of particular forms and what the cover letter looks like, but this is the main info you have to include. Now it's time to work on grant format. So it's required that you use a font size of 11 point or larger. And in terms of font type, you can use Arial, Georgia, Helvetica, or Palatino Linotype, but sorry, no Comic Sans for all you Comic Sans fans out there. The margins need to be at least half an inch, margins all around an 8x11 document, so a regular Word document. And the type density can be no more than 15 characters per linear inch. Line spacing can be no more than 6 lines per vertical inch, but if you do half-inch margins, 11 point or larger, I think even single-spaced in Word, you'll be fine. In terms of text color, there are no restrictions, although black text and high contrast colors work the best, so I wouldn't be going crazy with pastel text colors at this point. Do not include headers or footers. Once you upload your documents into Assist, those are created for you, so do not include those. Put headings at the top of each section, so significance, innovation, approach, etc. Research strategy at the top of all 3 of those. Highly recommended. For acronyms, spell out the first time you use an acronym in a section, and then feel free to use the acronym going forward. Jargon, don't use it. Use clear and simple language and define your terms. Remember that the reviewers will not be experts in whatever area that you're proposing to study, so you want to be as clear as possible. Do not use hyperlinks or URLs. NIH prohibits the use of those in your documents. Do not use. Figures must be readable at 8x11, 100% scale. So you want to make sure that your figure titles and all of the text in your figures is clearly readable. If you include a figure that's really small, if reviewers can't understand it in the first place, then that's not really going to help you get a good score on your grant. And there's more info at Format Attachments on grants.nih.gov. So you can Google that information in terms of grant format, but here are the main things to consider. Let's revisit page limits. So I recommend starting with half-inch margins around each document and 11-point font for each document, which is the smallest size possible because it is much more likely that you will be over page limits than under them. Make sure that you formatted your bibliography and references cited section already and that you have used a numbering in-text citation system or et al. To save space. Look for acronyms that you can define and then use to shorten the text. So shortening functional magnetic resonance imaging to fMRI is going to save you a lot of space. For the following sections, at or under 6 pages. Your research strategy. Your candidate information and goals for career development. Your plans and statements of mentor and co-mentors, when you compile those together, are they under 6 pages? Your letters of support from collaborators, contributors, and consultants. And are the following sections at or under 1 page? specific aims, training in responsible conduct of research, inclusion of women, minorities, and children, which has now been re-termed inclusion of women and minorities in research. Sorry for that typo. Also, inclusion of individuals across a lifespan should be at or under 1 page. You are the page police. So I wouldn't count on your mentors or co-mentors to make sure all these are under a page. I think that is totally your job. So make sure that the project narrative is only 3 sentences long. Count to make sure that the project summary or the abstract does not go over 30 lines of text. Are all of the NIH bio sketches, yours, your primary mentors, co-mentors, consultants, at or less than 5 pages long? Do you have a friend or colleague who would be willing to read all of your formatted sections to check that everything makes sense, so concepts, numbers, acronyms, tables, figures, etc., and help you figure out where you can cut words? If it's someone outside your research area, even better, just to make sure that they can follow your line of reasoning and they understand your research concepts. So write a draft of your cover letter. Make sure that you've gotten feedback and documents needed from your primary mentor, co-mentors, and the other people on your grant. If not, send reminders and propose due dates. After incorporating all feedback you've received, format all of the K application sections you've written thus far. Determine if you are over any page limits and make a note in each document. Ask a friend or colleague to review your sections for clarity and potential areas they think you could cut words. Reward them with a treat, a cup of coffee, a little present, but really get an external person's feedback who isn't on the grant. See you next week.